A very good morning to my dear children of class 6, and I am glad to welcome you all to today's zoology class. So what are we going to learn today? We are going to learn a new lesson, that is chapter 3. The name of the lesson is the cells, which are the basic units of life. So this lesson is going to be about cells. So all living organisms are made up of cells, right? Our human body are all made up of cells, and similarly plants are also made up of cells, and even bacteria are made up of cells. So ultimately all the living organisms in this world are made up of cells, and about the cells only we are going to learn fully about this lesson. So today's class will be introductory part about cells, and let's get started. So here I have given you two pictures. One is the animal cell and this is a bacterial cell. Clear? We are not going to learn in detail about these cells for now. In the later part of the lesson we will learn. We will start with the introduction about cells. What are cells? Cells are the smallest building blocks of living organisms. What are cells? The smallest building blocks of living organisms. What does this mean? What is building blocks? You even have toys, no? To play, you play with building blocks. What you do? You arrange many blocks together and build out something, right? Similarly, in a house also, if you see, while the construction part of the house all, if you see, there are many bricks arranged in a row or in a pattern so that a house or a building is constructed. Just like how a house or a building is all made up of bricks, similarly all living organisms are packed fully of cells. So your body is packed fully of cells. Your body is made of cells, and it is the basic unit or building block of not only your body, any living organism, even if it is a plant or a bacteria. Then you can call cell as structural and functional unit. What is structural unit? Because of the arrangement of these cells only you get a proper structure. Clear? And because of the presence of cells only your body functions properly. Every part of your body functions because of the functions of the cell. You are able to see the world because you have photocells or light cells. You are able to think wisely because you have brain cells or nerve cells. So ultimately every function in your body is controlled only by the cells. That's why it is called the functional unit. It is called structural unit because cells are the ones which give shape to your body parts. And it is called functional unit because every cell in your body has specific functions. Clear? And also they have vital functions. What is vital? Vital is the most important functions of your body are all controlled by the cells of your body. And also you cannot see cells with your naked eye, that is without glasses or without any zoom lenses you cannot see, but you can see the cells only under a microscope. What is this microscope? We will be learning more about microscope in the upcoming slides. Clear? So what have we studied? The basic introductory part of cells. Cells are the building blocks of every living organism. Just as how a house is constructed out of bricks, a living organism's body is constructed fully of cells, and they give structure to your body, and also cells are responsible for most of the functions in your body, and it is responsible for the control of all important functions in your body. And cells cannot be seen with your naked eye. You need a microscope to see the cells. Clear? This is the introductory part. Let's learn some more about cells. See, I told you, no, cells can be seen only under a microscope. This is the microscope. Okay. So by the end of this class I am going to take you to our biology lab, and I will show you the microscope and also the parts of the microscope we are going to see today in our lab. Okay. So I told you cells can be seen only under the microscope. When you put the cells here in this part and see through this place, you can see the cells, otherwise you cannot see with your eyes. What is microscope? Microscope is a instrument. What is microscope? It is a device or a instrument where you can see tiny objects which you cannot see with your naked eye. Clear? So what is microscope? Microscope is a device or an instrument which is used to see very small objects whichever you cannot see with your eyes. You can see under the microscope. And why you can see only under the microscope? Because microscope have something called lenses. So you have lenses here and you have lenses here also. So in your toys also you must be playing with zoom glasses. No, you have glasses like this. And if you place this lens on some object, it will show bigger. No, you must be playing with this, I guess. So like that you have lenses here also which will show the small size objects into a bigger object. It means magnification. If you are going to see a small object in a bigger size, it is called as magnification or magnifying glasses. Clear? So because you have lenses, it can magnify or show the size of the object in a bigger size. And the microscope, what you use in labs, no, generally in school labs all, it is called as compound microscope. What is the name of this microscope? It is called as compound microscope. Clear? And what all you can see under the microscope? You can see any type of cells like bacteria, amoeba, red blood cells, any cells in this world you can see under a microscope. Mostly cells only we observe under the microscope because we cannot see cells with the eyes. Clear? So what have we studied about microscope? So small cells which cannot be seen with the eyes can be seen under the microscope. Microscope is an instrument which is used to see very tiny objects which cannot be seen with your eyes. You can see things under microscope because microscope have lenses and they magnify, they show in a bigger size. That's why you can see tiny objects under the microscope. And this microscope was what we generally use in the laboratory is called as compound microscope, and generally we observe bacteria, amoeba, RBC cells and many other cells under a microscope. Clear? Next we will study about the invention of microscope. From where does this story starts? That is, who found the first microscope? It was by a man called as Antony van Leeuwenhoek. What is the name of this man who found the first microscope? See, this is the microscope what he first found. Now we have a advanced developed version. No, this was the first microscope which was invented by Antony van Leeuwenhoek, and his time period was from 1632 to 1723 this man lived. So the microscope what he designed was called as simple microscope. What we have now we call it as compound microscope, right? So the microscope which Antony van Leeuwenhoek made is called as simple microscope. That simple microscope had single biconvex lens. What is this biconvex lens? Convex is this shape. So biconvex means this way. So the shape of the lens what he used was this shape which is called biconvex shape. Clear? and he observed RBC cells, muscle cells and bacteria in the microscope what he made. Since this man first discovered the microscope, he is called the father of microbiology. What is microbiology? Biology means study about living organisms. No, microbiology is study about microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, all. When you study that field is called as microbiology. So because microscope is helpful in studying about microorganisms, and this man discovered the first microscope, so he is called the father of microbiology. Clear? So what have we studied about the invention of microscope? Antony van Leeuwenhoek, who lived from 1632 to 1723, was the first man who invented the first microscope, this microscope called the simple microscope. In his microscope he used only one lens and it was biconvex in shape, like this shape. And what all he observed? He observed RBC cells, muscle cells, bacteria and many other cells he had observed, and he is called the father of microbiology because he invented the first microscope. Clear? There are some more people who contributed in the development of microscopes and about cells. Let's learn about them too. So the next man who worked on microscope was Robert Hooke. In the year 1665, this man, what he did was he developed a microscope. It is called as primitive microscope. So what was the name of the microscope Antony van Leeuwenhoek discovered? It was simple microscope, right? So somewhat developed or advanced microscope Robert Hooke made, and that microscope was called by the name primitive microscope. So what this man did, he used two lenses. What Antony van Leeuwenhoek used? He used a single biconvex lens, right? Robert Hooke used two lenses. So what is the advantage of two lenses? It gives better magnifications, which means it will show the object somewhat bigger in size when you use two lenses instead of one lens, right? If you use one lens itself, you can see your object bigger in size. So this man used two lenses, so the object was magnified more. What he observed, he took the bark of a stem. From a stem he just sliced a bark and he put that bark under the microscope. Usually red blood cells or muscle cells or bacteria only people were observing under microscope, no? So this man just tried the bark of a stem, and what he observed such a structure. You can compare this structure with the honeycomb structure, no? It appears like the structure of a honeycomb with many small compartments in them. So this was the structure first he observed, and he called this structure as cells. He called this structure as cells. It had thin box-like compartments. Can you see small box-like structures like that of the honeycomb? So that is what Robert Hooke observed. Why he called them as cells? So the first term cell was given only by this man Robert Hooke to this structure, this honeycomb like structure. Why he called it as cells? Because in Latin the word cellula means small rooms. In Latin language the word cellula means small rooms. So since this appeared like small rooms, Robert Hooke called this one as cells. Clear? So this is about the primitive microscope. Next, in 1838 there were two German biologists. These two people, that is Matthias Schleiden and Theodor Schwann. So Matthias Schleiden and Theodor Schwann, what they did, they proposed a theory called as cell theory. This was the first theory that was laid down related to cells. What this theory tells, if there is a theory, there should be some concept. No, what is that concept? These two German biologists declared that all plants and animals are made up of cells. So these two German biologists were the first to propose that every living organism, whether it be a plant or an animal, they are made up of cells. These two people told. Cell theory actually has 2 points. The first point is they told that all plants and animals are made up of cells. They also told that cells are the basic units that give structure to any living organism and is responsible for the functioning of the organism. So what all cell theory tells? Cell theory tells that all plants and animals are made up of cells, and also cells are the basic units of living organisms that give structure and functions and is responsible for the functioning of the living organism. So these 2 points you have to memorize because it is important in exam point of view. What is cell theory? If I ask you, you should be able to tell these 2 points. So this is about cell theory by the German biologists Matthias Claden and Theodor Schwann. Then again in 1868 there was one more man called as Rudolf Virchow. What he did, he is a German scientist. This is Rudolf, and he gave an additional point to cell theory. Already cell theory has 2 points, no? He gave a additional fact. He added one more point to cell theory. What is that? He told new cells arise from pre-existing cells by cell division. So what was his point is, he told if there is a cell, it can undergo division, and after cell division a new cell is formed from the parent cell. Do you understand? If there is a parent cell, it can undergo cell division, and if it undergoes like binary fission, one cell will become 2 cells. I will draw for you. So for example, if there is a cell, it can undergo cell division, and after division one cell will become 2 cells. This is his point. So what he told, new cells arise from pre-existing cells. Pre-existing cells means the cells which are already present. So new cells arise from pre-existing cells. How it arises? By the process of cell division. Whenever there is cell division, new cells can arise from pre-existing cells. This is the third point in cell theory which Rudolf Virchow has added to the already existing 2 points of cell theory. Clear? So this is about Rudolf Virchow's contribution. Okay, in your book you have an activity part about learning the parts of the microscope, right? So we are going to learn about the parts of a microscope. I am going to take you to our biology lab. So come on. So this is a biology lab, and here you can see many microscopes, right? So let's study about the parts of a microscope. So this is a microscope, and before we learn about the parts of the microscope, let me tell you something. Whenever you are going to lift a microscope, why do you need to lift? Suppose if you are going to take this microscope and place it in this place, always you have to, this is called the neck of the microscope. So hold in the neck, and also with your left hand you have to hold the base. Okay, so never lift like this. If you lift like this, it is like, suppose if you need to carry a baby, will you hold the neck and lift the baby up? No, right? So the right way of handling a microscope is you have to hold the neck as well as the base. So always hold the microscope like this and shift it to some other place and place it gently. Clear? So let's study the parts of the microscope. So in a microscope you have this area. This is called the eyepiece. What is it called? It is called the eyepiece. Here you can place a lens here. Okay, you have lens boxes. No, there are 2 types of lens. One is called 10x and the other one is called 15x. What does it mean? If I am going to put this 10x, it will be written as 10x. Clear? So if I am going to place this 10x lens in this eyepiece, it means whatever I put under the microscope will be 10 times larger. Clear? So if I put something under the microscope and if I put this lens here, it will show 10 times bigger in size. Similarly, you have 15x lens, and that also you can put inside. If you place 15x lens, it means it will magnify or show the size 15 times bigger than the original size. So this is about the eyepiece. You also have 3 objective lenses. In this microscope you have 2. In some advanced microscopes you have 3. Here you have 2 objective lenses. One is called 10x. You can rotate, see. So can you see 10x and 45x? What does this mean? This means that if I am going to put this 10x straight to the center, it will show 10 times bigger. Already you have 10 times bigger in size because you have 10x eyepiece lens here, right? So similarly, when you place 10x objective lens straight to the object, it will show 10x times bigger again. So 10 into 10, 100 times bigger. Now you can see the size of the cells. And I told you also there is 45x objective lens, right? So instead of 10, if I am going to put this 45x above the bacteria or any cells, it means it will show 45 times bigger than the actual size. Clear? So this is objective lens, this is eyepiece. In eyepiece you have 2 types of lens, 10x and 15x, and in objective lens you have 2 types, 10x and 45x. This is how the object is shown bigger. So you have some glass slides. So how you will view a cell? You have glass slides for microscope. This is called the rectangular stage. This is the stage of the microscope where the cells are going to be placed. This is the rectangular stage, and suppose if I place a cell in this slide and put it on the stage and view through the microscope. Through here I have to view. I can see 45 into 10, 450 times a bigger size I can see than the original size. Okay, and also you have 2 knobs. This is called coarse adjustment knob, coarse adjustment knob. Clear? And this is called fine adjustment knobs. 2 coarse adjustments. So if I adjust, this will move up and down for fine adjustment. In camera all you adjust the lens, no, so that you get a clear picture. Similarly here also you have coarse adjustments which moves at random, and fine adjustment to fine tune the image. Clear? So these are about the lenses and the adjustment knobs. And also you have at the bottom, it is called mirror. Can you see a mirror at the bottom? This is called mirror for light adjustments. So I can just move this focusing the area from where I get good light source, and then if I view I can see the image clearly. So this is about the parts of the microscope. Okay, for today's homework, read pages 37 and 38 in your textbook. This is your homework. Read thoroughly. And that is all for today's class. Until I meet you in one more zoology class, you all take care and bye-bye.